Hey, good morning, guys. It's Erev Shabbos and almost Hanukkah. Yeah. And my Hanukkah Nerot candles still haven't arrived, and I ordered them Sunday. Oh my. So anyways, I'm waiting on that. I don't even have my Havdalah candle, my new one. My old one got down to it was about like that, and that starts getting dangerous. Hey, watch my hands fizzle. So anyway, there we go for that. I have almost finished this, which is about time. I've been working on it forever, as you know, but I've only got a couple more inches to put on the top of this, or maybe an inch and a half, something. I've got to remeasure it out again. But anyways, here we go with Gracie's hat, and it's so hard. Part of me, I have enjoyed this so much. I would enjoy it more if I had someone with her head size around. But I've never made a hat for a little kid before, so I have no idea how this is going to fit. But one thing I did remember to do is I went 2 sizes down in the needle. I used a number 9 16-inch circular to do the body, rise of the hat, and also for the crown. And then I used, because of using a garter stitch rib, I used a number 7 needle for it, because the Teach Yourself Visually Knitting design book said if you're going to use a garter rib, make sure you go 2 stitches down in your design. So that's what I did for it. And then, but what I was so proud of with this hat is that I finally learned last night. I mean, I was just getting so frustrated with these beads because I couldn't get the stinking beads on without my sloppy swatch, without the beads also coming through on the back side. And I didn't want, the last thing you want is beads, something plastic pushing against your head when you're wearing a hat. Not to mention, if it's cold outside, the bead gets cold, therefore your head gets cold. And I finally found out yesterday how to do it, ta-da, without the beads coming through on the backside. And I'll show you how it's done. And I'm sorry you're going to have to see this in reverse, but I don't have a camera system set up to where, I can actually show you proper. Well, maybe I could if I set up my tripod and I put that there and whatever. Anyway, I don't have time today to do it. Maybe at another point, but not right now. Okay, so what I have here is I've got a short little swatch done up. And as you can see, I've pulled the bead up to where I'm going to be stitching. Now what I'll do is I'll insert my hook into a knit stitch. I'm going to grab, see that over top of the bead, not under it, but over that bead, grab a bit of yarn, and then pull it up on this side. So now you see it looking like this. Where's my bead? Well, I'm going to take my bead and I'm going to push it through from the back to the front and then pull it off. And bingo! I've got my bead on the front. And I'll show you here in a second how that works after I get through here again. And I hate working with non-bamboo needles because the yarn just slides straight off of it. And come back here because we are knitting in the round. Then what you do to secure your bead is you knit in the back of the stitch, not in the front, because otherwise you'd be grabbing over top of your bead, and you don't want to do that. So you're going to knit in the back of the stitch, and come on. I also hate working with 2 strands of yarn. Just saying. And knit in the back of it, and then knit across. And once I get across on this one, I'll show you how the back turned out on that. And I split the yarn. Do not like these needles. And I had to do the whole thing on there. I've got to get some number 7s. number 7 circulars. But if you see, a little bit different because unfortunately I put the bead on the end and I should have waited until I did the next stitch. But there is nothing on the back. And that's all it was. So stinking simple. And so your beads, because you're pushing the bead through to the front, your bead comes off not straight up and down, which is boring. It comes off diagonally. And I love that. I love the way that works. But anyway, so that's how that worked. Another thing that I learned while I was doing this, it's because usually I use the plastic rings, like this. Hold on, like these. Those are for crocheters. This is a marker, stitch marker, that you slap on your needles. But the markers come in different sizes to fit the various size needles. Well, I kept dropping my darn stitch marker. So one of the things I also learned in making this hat is I really prefer to just take a bit of yarn, tie it, and stick it on there, because it makes a much better stitch marker. And especially since I'm working with bamboo needles, it doesn't go sliding off all over the place. And it's much easier for my over 55-year-old eyes. So, if you're pushing 60 like me, go with these. It's much easier to see, and they don't drop off like the others do. So, when you got plastic on anything, it's just going to go freewheeling off someplace. So that's it. So that's what I learned on this one. And it's just been a lot of fun. And, because it's, you're putting beads on. See the way they angle off? Well, yeah, you can see it on this one. It's kind of hard. The laptop has to sit under a fluorescent light to get any lighting in my house. So anyways, but because of putting beads on, I didn't want flat. So that's why I went with the garter rib to be able to pop the hat out a little bit, and then I boxed it in with a couple more rounds of garter and added a little bit of design right through here to make it more interesting. And then once I get to the top, it'll be squared off and with the pom-poms and stuff. So I've already been playing with pom-poms. And I don't know what happened with the pom-pom this time, but I'm going to have to make another one because I can just sit here and literally pull the pieces out. And I don't like it. I've never had that happen on any of the pom-poms that I've made with the Clover pom-pom maker. Sure did this time. So anyways, I'll have to make up another one, and I'll just save this one for myself because you would definitely not want to put this in a washing machine. That sucker would be all over the inside of your washer. So anyways, that's what I've been doing. And then, what do I do with it? Oh, once I'm finished, then her grandma sent this back and said, no, maybe we should put a strap on it. So I got to find how long the strap is supposed to be. But anyway, then I'll put a strap on Gracie's pouch that I made her. And I'm almost tempted. If it weren't for the fact that it would take forever, I would put beads on the strap. I've got purple beads. But anyway, so I've got to do that. And once that's done, I quit for the day. My house is a disaster. You can imagine having cats and you've had to just focus all week on knitting and getting caught up with orders that I haven't been able to hardly do anything but run through and all. Okay, I've got to sweep in, but I only mopped once, and oh goodness, yeah, they've tracked in a lot. So I have got to get all of that cleaned up and ready for Shabbos, and so I've got 4 hours, because I know it's going to be a good 4 hours to get this place back in shape again. Because even when I went back to my bedroom, Jeff had gotten into my closet, and he decided he'd just throw everything out. So my big laundry basket was on the floor. Everything was out of it. Other stuff, he'd thrown it out, and it was like, what are you doing? Just sitting in there kicking it? So what was a nice, spiffy clean room has now got to be redone as well. So, oh goodness, it's like having preschoolers in here. So anyway, so that's what I've got ahead of me today. Hope you guys have a great weekend, great good Junta, good Shabbos, Freilich and Hanukkah, good holidays for the rest of you, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.